Yo guys, Semphis here. Gonna make a quick video on support players. Basically there's two camps. There's one camp that thinks that support players don't exist and it's just kind of an excuse to have a bad player on your team, and that every player should pull his weight equally. No spots are bad on CT, and T side, everyone is just always getting AKs and ops and living a wonderful life. Then there's the other camp where people think like, oh yeah, they're support players for sure. There's always someone sacrificing some stuff. It's usually like they'll drop AKs or they'll buy more nades on eco rounds, that kind of stuff. So I think both people are right depending on the team. But I think on average in Counter-Strike, there's always going to be a player, whether it's the in-game leader or just maybe someone that's a little bit worse and taking a kind of sacrifice for the better players on the team, that's going to kind of play spots maybe that aren't as favorable or that the star players don't want to play. Like if I'm on a team with Simple and he fucking hates ramp on nuke and he wants to play inner, I'll go play ramp. I mean, doesn't it make sense that me not being as good as Simple would want him to be in a better state of mind and have a more impactful spot? I mean, it's just logic, you know, like, so I definitely think that stuff exists. I do think there are obviously really good players playing spots they might not like love the most. See maybe Guardian when he was playing with Nico, he was playing mid on Dust 2 as an opera. I feel like most operas rather play A site. So there's always going to be some times where like you don't do it, and then Nico was opping there. So I don't know if that was just like a thing they did. I'm not on their teams and stuff, but you know, normally operas prefer to play A. So yeah, getting into like kind of like the differences in a team. So if you look at a team like Liquid, I'll just go over the players really quick. Nitro, in-game leader, Opper. All right, so he's not really going to be doing a lot of the bitchy stuff all the time. He's going to do it sometimes. When they force buy, he'll buy more nades. He'll probably drop an AK, have a deagle, full nade set. Pistol, he's probably going to buy some nades. So he's doing like kind of half, but he's not truly doing all of it. Elijah's a fragger. You know, obviously he's going to be, you know, doing his thing. He's one of the best players in the world. Let him off the chain, basically. Let him do his thing. Then you have Naf and Twist, who are very similar. They both like extremities on T side, and CT side, Naf will play usually small sight rotator, and Twist will play an anchor, so like long A on Dust 2, or you know, back when I played with him and Cobble was still in the pool, he like wanted to play drop. Like he likes to play spots where you don't really, where you can just live for a long time and you can kind of like play the late round. When you play some other spots, sometimes you die earlier in the round than you maybe would have liked if you prefer to just be alive more. And some players like that. And when you have someone like Twist, who's super skilled, one of the best players in the world, has really good aim, playing long A on Dust 2, which would usually be a spot that like maybe Kerrigan or Chris J, you know, like someone, like a lesser player on a team would play skill-wise, then that like just buffs your team so much, because it's like, think about it, on Dust 2, it's like, oh shit, we're getting owned, like, let's go off Cat. Oh shit, there's a Liege and Nitro opping there and rifling. Fuck. Alright, well mid B there's fucking Naf and Stewie. Fuck. Alright, fuck it, let's go long. That's where they're worst players. Oh shit, it's Twist. Like, it, you know, it's not awesome, right? Like, you have good players everywhere. So with someone like Liquid, it's so much different than like most other teams. So I don't think in a team like Liquid there's any like true support player. They all kind of pull their weight. You know, I'm sure there's some players that rather play a little bit better spot, but on average, I think they all like their roles. Like 70% of the time, I'm sure that like they're all happy with their CT spots and T spots. I'm sure maybe Stewie doesn't want to play ramp on nuke. No one wants to fucking play ramp on nuke. All right, that spot sucks. That's literally the most boring spot in the game. You either drop and go and tell your team, oh yo, I dropped in the site. They can go under ladder. Or you fight and die, and your team goes, yo, bro, why didn't you just drop? You just lost us the round. So those are your two options pretty much at nuke, unless you do some like setup with your opper or something. Anyways, so with Liquid, it's just like a really good dynamic. So, you know, it's one of the reasons they're so dominant, right? Then you go look at maybe another team, and it's like maybe Vitality is a good example, just because they kind of stack Zywoo so hard. So, you know, someone like Zywoo obviously he's going to get a P250 drop on pistol. He's going to get AK drop second round. He's not going to buy nades when you're going to get him buy Deagle head armor and have someone else buy the nades on force buys. I'm not saying he never buys nades or does anything important, but like if you have a dude on your team that's going to win you the round, you're going to give him the scout. You're going to give him the, you know what I mean? Like it just makes sense. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. So on that team specifically, they're obviously going to put the resources towards Zywoo. Now you're going to have people like Alex, who's the caller. He's going to do some of the grimier stuff, probably buying more of the nades, more of the utility on the second rounds, nades on pistol, and that's pretty normal for a caller. You're going to play the spots people don't like on CT. So as in terms of most people kind of get it. Nowadays they're like, okay, the caller is kind of going to be the player that does a little bit of what they don't like, but besides the caller, everyone else should be sick. Well, I kind of agree that everyone should be not missing easy kills is what I think. So like no matter what your role is, no matter what your stats are, if you go through the demo and you're just whiffing on kills and you're losing rounds because you're just missing, well then maybe there's an issue there. There probably is an issue there. However, if you're RPK, for example, and he does this, and say you drop Zywoo P250 and you buy like a smoke and a flash on pistol or something, and then you lose that round and you don't get a kill, and then the next round, or you drop him an AK. I don't know how you got this amount of money, but whatever. So then you drop the AK to Zywoo, and you have like a P250 or a Deagle nothing, and then maybe on CT side you're saving for an op while he scouts on second, third round, and you're buying just a 5.7. So you're putting like a lot of your money resources into buffing this guy, and maybe you're not missing any kills, but like honestly, go into a game and drop someone a scout and a Deagle and a P250 on pistol, and then drop him an AK and see if it doesn't hurt your fragging a little bit. Like I'm sure you'd get a little bit more kills if you were given the AK, or you could have Glock head armor rushing the site while your teammates throw flashes for you. Like it does matter, and I think it's more determined on whether or not they're actually missing the kills and being bad, rather than maybe their stats are just lower because the strat kind of just enable, like if you're force buying and you're entering a site, say Beyond Mirage, who are you going to send up first? You going to let your AK just walk out and get ogged in the head? Or are you going to maybe bait the Glock or P250 no armor that drop the AK? I mean, it makes more sense you're going to do that. If you're that guy, you're dead. I'm sorry. Going out B on Mirage is almost guaranteed to die no matter what weapon you have. Now, you give yourself no armor and you're fucking guaranteed to die unless you get super lucky. So, I mean, that's going to hurt your stats in the long run. Then you look over maybe more like towards CT side spots, and like this is an argument people use. They go, oh, well, every player should you play every spot and be fucking insane and hold that shit. And it's like, well, I can agree that there is good players that play pretty much every spot, and it's one of the ways I've tricked people in the past to play spots they don't like, is they'd be like, I don't want to play Ivy, and I'm like, bro, Cold Zero plays Ivy, and he get 20 kills a half, so shut the fuck up. But, like, I think there's a difference in how you play spots, you know what I mean? Like, if you, for one, how many spots are you getting? Now, sometimes you just get shafted, right? And, like, you're the guy playing ramp on Duke. Okay, that sucks. You're the guy playing, like, Ivy on Train. And you're the guy playing B on Mirage. And none of these spots inherently are, like, terrible. But if you're always playing all the kind of, like, stay alive, get info, you're going to get one, and then hopefully you live, and then your teammates come, and maybe you get two if you're lucky, this isn't going to bode well for you being, like, the best fragger on your team, you know? So, while I think these spots are super important, and you have people like Sergey and Twist that fucking thrive at playing these spots, if that's not your natural spot, and you just got stuck there because, like, no one wanted to play no one wanted to play ramp on Nuke because it sucks, and you're like, all right, I'll play ramp, fuck it. You're kind of taking one for the team, you know? But if you like ramp, and that's like your favorite spot, and you're sick at it, it's a little bit different, you know what I mean? Like, if you actually are good at a spot, like, for example, I never played many stationary spots in my career. I was usually either an opper for a while, or I would play rotator spots, so, like, either the A rotator on Dust 2 or the B mid rotator. So, like, I remember the first time I started having to play, like, long A on Dust 2, I fucking sucked at it. Like it felt really uncomfortable because I'm so used to moving. You know what I mean? Like there's here, you move, you kind of cheat over a little bit. You're always able to move. When you play long Aeondas too, like if that's not your natural playstyle, like someone like Twist, you you're going to make mistakes until you get punished enough and you kind of learn. Like, yeah, you can watch demos and stuff, but there's a feel for spots. I don't care what anyone says. Like, that's why you play scrims and stuff. Otherwise, you could just watch demos and just go into a match and win. Like, you do need some reps. You need to be like, oh shit, that flash caught me, or like, okay, that guy's just going to randomly walk out there's all these little things that can happen that the more reps you get, the better. So when I first played these spots, I sucked at it, and then I realized, like, okay, I'm just playing like a noob kind of. I'm playing too predictable. I'm always in the pit, just jump spotting with a flash, and like a lot of the time, your opper can't really help you. He gets maybe one shot. You know, like if they're throwing smokes and flashes at the corner, he's not really able to do a ton for you unless you dedicate him to sort of being long with you from the start. Like, I'm talking like he's opping cat, they start hitting long, he's going to get over there, there's an opper posted on him. He doesn't have a lot to do to really help you. It's mostly on you to get one, and then he's probably going to fall back in the site, and you're going to die. You're going to die guaranteed, like, but obviously if you can get one or two, that's going to be beneficial. So then I realized, okay, playing right of door one round, and then maybe playing the wall one round, and then you play pit one round, and then one round maybe I had a spot from the corner and tell my team we're going to play retake and we're just going to let them have long. I started switching up, then it got a lot easier. So there's obviously a learning process, and there's a couple different ways that you can like play a spot. So those are just kind of like some of my opinions on like what a support player is. So I don't think maybe a team can be like, you are our support player. You will be buying Semphis, AKs, Deagles, Negevs every round, riot shields. Like, that doesn't really exist. I kind of agree with that, but like there's definitely going to be someone that's getting shafted a little bit, and he might only get like 2 out of 7 spots that he really likes. He's going to have to put in more work watching demos, playing the spots, getting used to them. He's not going to be maybe set up in the way that someone like a Liege would be on a strat. If you're like, for example, a good example is being a lurker. Okay, so if you watch someone like Breeze or Olaf when he used to lurk a lot, or any of those players that go to extremities, right, that are really good at it, Nico back in the day and stuff, you'll notice a lot of them have little plays they do. They go for kills. They don't just sit around. Then you look at a different team like maybe Astralis, and you look at Zipnix. He doesn't do anything. He just sits there. He sits there and makes sure he doesn't get pushed. He uses nades when he needs to. He saves the ones that he needs for the strats, and he maintains control of the spot. If he needs to go and throw a molly and a smoke at Ivy and push the offer back, he will, but it's mostly him living. You're not going to see Zipnik just walking up Ivy by himself just looking for a frag. You'll never see this. So even the way you lurk can be determined on your team's playstyle, and people need to take these things into consideration. Like, you're going to get more frags if you're allowed to just randomly walk up Ivy when you're feeling it, or walk through a smoke or something. Now, with a team like Astralis, they have such good strats and synergy, and they're reading the game so well that there's no reason for this guy to risk death. I'm sure he could walk up Ivy and get a kill, but that's not worth it for them. If you have a good enough like game plan, like, you just want to make sure that you're never dying, So, yeah, those are just some of my points. Maybe people agree, maybe they don't. I just think it's very situational and depends on the team. But